Welcome to Guns and Gear Network. Appreciate you tuning in today. Today we're going to talk communications. And if you follow my channel, you know I've done a lot of videos about communications. I've reviewed accessories, I've reviewed different radios. Recently reviewed a CB radio from President, which is their McKinley version. I've reviewed the UV5Rs. I've reviewed a lot of different things. But I wanted to do kind of a collaboration video, just kind of concentrating on one to show everybody everything. And so if you're getting started, prepping, survival for natural disasters, man-made, whatever the case, this right here is going to give you a good overview of what everything is. I'm not going into details today, just kind of a broad overview of communications. Feel a little guilty about doing the video. Don over at Sensible Prepper actually released this same style video, I think earlier today, but it was on my playlist to get done and put out there, so I went ahead and decided to do it. If you hadn't been over at Don's channel, if you've been at my channel, surely you've been at Don's. Don over at Sensible Prepper, good guy, does a lot of good content. So let's get right into it. Communications. Communications is greatly important when it comes to this stuff. You got to be able to know what's going on in the outside world. There's two types of radios. There are radios that you can communicate amongst two different parties, and then there's radios that are for listening only. So we're going to show you a little bit of both today and kind of the differences and so forth. So the first, cheapest, most entry-level form of two-party type communication is these radios to the left. These are GMRS and FRS frequencies, and I know some of this may be you don't understand the lingo, but just follow with me here and we'll work with it. Some of this stuff you can kind of research on your own. These type radios here you're going to find at your local sporting goods store, Walmart, whatever, usually in the hunting fishing section. They are for short communication. They're not that great, but you can, around a house, around a camp, stuff like that, something like that works really well. They're not that expensive. There's no license required. GMRS at one time, I don't know if it still holds true, you're supposed to have a license, but it's basically you fill out a postcard size piece of paper and send it in, then you get some kind of license. But I don't know of anybody that does, and all my hunting buddies and all that stuff have these radios. So anyway, you got those. Then you jump up to more of a programmable style radio that you can put in different frequencies, and these right here you can actually program to work on ham repeaters. You can, in certain areas, not all, you can program to listen to emergency services, things like that, and so forth. These are 16 channel compatible. I've done videos specifically on those. Those are the Baofeng 888S's, and good all-around cheap little radios. Then you jump up to a little bit more expensive, not a whole lot. I think the last time I saw these UV5Rs, when I priced them out, I don't know, 25 to 30 bucks, including shipping to your door. And this one has a lot more capabilities. This one has over, I think it's over 100 channels, and you can program it on the fly as well as using some software and a programming cable. You can, again, in my area, I can monitor police service, fire service, whatever. And you have a broad range of frequencies and stuff that you can monitor and use, communicate with something like that. That one actually, talking about accessories, this one actually has the extended battery pack as well as a newer, longer, better quality antenna. So I have that one there. Good radio. Then as far as still communicating amongst two parties or more, something like a CB radio. I recommend, I have CB radios. This is a spare one. I've got 2 or 3 spare ones. You can get those pretty cheap. You can get them pretty expensive. But if you don't have a CB radio, I highly suggest you at least go find something, maybe at a yard sale, flea market, whatever. Pay your, $5-10 bucks for it, because that's probably all it's going to cost you. Most people don't know what they have. They'll sell it to you pretty cheap because they just don't use them anymore. Been sitting in their garage collecting dust. When you buy it, make sure it works. Research these radios because and how to set them up, because if you're not careful, I'll say a CB radio in particular, if you don't set that up correctly, you can damage the radio and burn out what's called the finals. So, and the reason, I'll briefly tell you, the reason is if you hook this up to see if it has power and you're hitting this mic here, then without the antenna hooked up, you'll usually a lot of times burn out the finals. Depends on the radio and how old it is and stuff like that. But just research radios before you start plugging in and start using stuff like this. Make sure you understand how to set it all up. You also have to set up the antenna to have the correct SWR readings, stuff like that. So the other thing you want to look at is radios that you can listen and gather information from the outside world. So this one in particular I've reviewed. This right here is a solar power and what they call the, I think, dynamo power, which you can crank and charge it. This right here is a simple AM, FM, and weather band. So let's turn it on here. So there's your radio. This one has a flashlight. So this right here is handy just to have. I can listen, hopefully, and gather some information. Maybe if there's a state of emergency, whatever. Usually, if the news stations are still up and running, they'll usually be able to send out information to everybody and let them know what is going on, when it's safe, when it's not safe. Something like that. Then you get into shortwave radios. This one is a multi-function radio. It has AM, FM, and shortwave. I'm pretty sure on this one, been a while since I looked at it. They no longer make this model, but this one is a Grundig brand, and they still make these type of radios with the shortwave. Shortwave gets you long distance, so you can listen to other countries, all kinds of things with shortwave. I like this one because it's small and compact, and I can just stick it in a pack. Then you're going to look at some accessories, and I want to talk about a couple of accessories real quick. One thing you can do to get better signal, especially on a shortwave, is build you a expandable antenna. This one's made of wire. So I took some wire, I soldered in an alligator clip, and all you do is clip it to your antenna. Remember back in the day when we used to put aluminum foil on our TV antennas and radio antennas? Same concept. So I've seen people use coat hangers as antennas on radio, so get creative. This allows me to expand this antenna a long way, up in a tree, on top of my roof, whatever, and hopefully get a little bit of reception if I'm having problems, you know, with the little just one that came with it. So you've got that. You also may want to do things like this. This right here is an old earbud piece that I think it maybe even went to a phone or something. I don't know, but it actually works in this radio. That way I can sit and listen and monitor this without disturbing other people, or if I'm trying to be a little covert and I don't want people to hear my radio while I'm trying to listen, earpieces are good to have for that. And if you're not good at hearing and you don't want to miss something, the earbud gets it a little closer to your ear, obviously, and allows you to able to hear a little clearer. A good communications book. I've talked about this before. I've done a review or a video about this. Make sure you have a good communications book. This right here has all my information in it about the different frequencies that I have, either programmed into these radios, information about specific radios, how to program on the fly, Morse code, 10 codes, the phonetic alphabet, all kinds of things is in this information. A lot of this stuff I already know, but if I've got a reference here and I need to get somebody up to speed in a family or a friend that's in our prepper group maybe or something like that, this right here is good material for them to study up on. I also keep manuals and stuff like that in here in this pocket. This right here is actually marine radio. I don't have a marine radio represented here because I can program marine frequencies in that Baofeng. But they do make marine specific radios, and I have one of their little things in here. But I do have a marine radio. The other thing that I would talk about is I bag everything separate, or try to. So, give an example, that red radio here, I have in a Ziploc bag. It's got the user manual. It's got some of the cable stuff that goes with it. I think there's a charging cable because I think you can charge up your phone or something maybe with that solar. But anyway, try bagging stuff. Do not put your batteries in these radios and leave them stored. Sometimes that can cause corrosion and it will ruin your electronics. So if you look, I have a pack of batteries, so I would bag up this along with the information and this radio in one bag, and I would leave it like that. So that way you know where it's at, you got your batteries, you pop them in, and then you can start listening to what's going on and what have you. So that's what I would do when it comes to that. Then I would also consider having a communications box, which I have represented here. This is one of mine. So it's not going to house all my communications that I own, but what I would do is have this set up where I would have, most likely in this box, I think I have two UV5Rs. I have I have 4 of the 888S's and some accessories and so forth. I have this AM/FM weather channel and the shortwave all in this box, along with the correct accessories and stuff that go with it, and the correct batteries and chargers and all. And that's kind of a grab and go. Worst case scenario, I got to get out in a hurry. I can grab this, or I can send somebody to go grab it because it says radio communications, and I know that I should be able to be okay at best with what's in it. Because I have so much communication stuff, it would be hard. The box would be pretty big. I mean, I could, but that's kind of just a quick grab and go. You can take it on vacation with you, whatever, throw it in the trunk of your car and have it with you. So something like that I think is important too, to protect your radios and all that. We can talk Faraday cages and whatever, and that's a different conversation and a different video. But you can protect your electronics with a Faraday cage or bags. I have a big accessory bag here that keeps extra batteries, keeps programming cables, all kinds of little accessories, spare antennas. If you change out your antennas, don't throw them away. I keep them because, you know, as the old saying goes, 1 is none, 2 is 1, and you know, I keep a whole bag of radio antennas that I've switched out because I've upgraded the antennas. So to keep them, you might need them. You never know when one will break. So I keep some of these accessories and extra parts in a box like that, so I know where it's at. But anyway, guys, just kind of wanted to briefly talk to you a little bit about radios and communication. Specifically for prepping, survival, natural disasters, and all that. I think it's very important that we be able to communicate with each other and listen to the outside world, what's going on under those type of conditions. But anyway, guys, appreciate you tuning in. If you got any questions, you can post those below. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. Greatly appreciated. It's down there. Also, the share button's down there. Share content on your social media, Google+, places like that. It's greatly appreciated, and it helps the channel. Also, if you're wanting to subscribe and you're not a current subscriber, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. That'll allow you to get notifications when we do a new video. And if you're a current subscriber and you're not getting your notifications, go in and adjust your notifications to receive ours, and that way when we produce a new video and release it, you'll get a notification that we've done so. As always, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Bring another video shortly. Have a great day.